Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Centered Tarot.
Yeah.
As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. And please help me welcome Aley of Heart and Soul Connected and Val of Dragonfly Crystals, the Next Level Channeling. Welcome to Sisters of the Mystical Tarot Show.
Yay. Thank you.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, Shari will probably be joining us later. She is going to be late.
Mm-hmm.
She is on with Colleen the Cool Crone for the Reveal the Future. Now, don't everybody leave. Okay, I know how many of you are in here. If the number drops, that's it.
You can always do the meditation after. It doesn't. Time is not. Time is an illusion. It all works at whatever time you see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we try to support, our fellow readers and things and light workers that
as much as possible,
that they're doing. So, absolutely. I think that is just fabulous. So I want to say hello to a few folks that are in here. So who joined us? We've got Sandy Johnson, Joan Baker, Anita Kay, Edward Kenneth. Hello, Bunny Young, Fallon, Kelly, Mystic Next Door. Hey, nice to see you here. Artist Liz, Mary Thornberry, Marby Gangora, Kristen F, Linda Coyote Rosenbaum, Patrick Duncan. There we go. And I know that there's more of you coming. Oh, Shari says, I'll be there shortly. Okay. All right. Lois Fogger, Carol Berner, Chicken, Lindsay Page, AZ is happy, Mary Hernandez Walker. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Thank you.
And Edward, see, we're together again, so you don't have to choose.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Thank you, Edward. And yes, Mary Starshine and Kimberly Cano says, please everyone pray for the 4 NASA astronauts launching into the ISS at about 45 minutes past the hour. Yes, safe return.
Yes. I'm glad it's not Elon's spaceship.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So before we get into the topic of the day, just want to remind everyone to please like, share, and subscribe to all our channels. And if you go down in the description of the video, I've got the links in there, so you can do that. All three of us do private readings. So if you're interested in a private reading, reach out to us. We'll be more than glad to give you the details. We all offer classes. So if you're interested in what we've got on offer, reach out, let us know, ask questions. We'll get back to you. So anything
Hi, Jenny. Yeah, she's back from her trip. Yeah.
Yay, nice.
Yay.
So what have you got going on your channel over the next day or two, Aley?
I'm doing every other Thursday with Mark and either Mark, Diana, Joan. We do the medium show. And actually, I'm going to be on with Jason Tempinski on his channel tomorrow. And he was away for a while and he reached out to me and he wants to come back and do shows. So I said, go for it. Yeah. And then Friday, I have a show with Deb Zacco, and then I'm packing my bags and I'm going away for the weekend.
All right. Woo!
Perfect.
Yeah.
And Miss Val, what you got going on?
Well, tomorrow I have Messages for Lightworkers with Marina, episode 117. And then Friday, the Cool Crone Oracle.
Yes.
And I think Marina is on that as well. Yes. And then on next Tuesday, write this down, everyone, 2 p.m. Pacific time, Akashic Adventures. I'm going to be a guest on their show. And on Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, Dr. Gail and I are going to have our galactic conversations. And the 20th on Thursday, Arthur at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and so yeah. And I don't know why, but I have the Cool Crone Oracle again. We don't do it that often. So
No.
my calendars, it could be a miss.
Yes.
But anyway,
Uh-huh.
that's what I got. I'll stop there because those are the
Highlights.
Yeah, the highlights.
Perfect. And yeah, I'll be on with Val tomorrow. And then we've got Story in the Cards on Friday.
Not this Friday.
Not this Friday?
We did it last week.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at the wrong
Monday.
date.
Monday will be on with
wrong week.
Yeah. Thanks for coming,
okay.
folks. I've lost
That's okay.
my mind. Please stand
Because
by.
I won't be here. So.
Yeah, why am I looking there? Yeah, so we'll be on Val's channel tomorrow, and then we've got Golden Girls Coffee Clutch. Cleo will be hosting that. That is on Thursday. And then, yes, Cool Crone Oracle. And I've got a members get together on Saturday, the 15th, starting at 2 p.m. And I'm just going to remind everyone that is a member to please send me an email at heartcentertarot@outlook.com and let me know that you're coming, because that will determine whether or not I'm going to do it through StreamYard or through Zoom. So if you all kind of sit back and go, oh yeah, I'll get there, but nobody lets me know, and I do it on StreamYard, we might fill up, and then you show up and there's no room because I can only accommodate 10 people.
Yeah.
Right? So let's not do that. I would much rather plan for a Zoom and all that kind of stuff. So please let me know.
Okay.
All righty. So that takes care of a lot of the business end of things.
Yes. Do you remember, ladies, the TV show? And it wouldn't have been what you watched probably, but if you were babysitting, the morning Zoom. Do you remember that from PBS? Do you
Yes.
No.
Okay. You didn't babysit anybody. That's
a little bit, but not much. Not much.
It was around probably 68, 67.
Yeah.
68.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So our topic today is freedom. How do you know when you're free? What does freedom look like? What does it feel like? Are you ever really truly free? And just the concept of freedom. And I was telling the ladies backstage that the thought sort of popped into my head as I was reading something about the veterans going into to protest and so on Friday the 14th. And yeah, the lyrics of the song "Freedom's Just Another Word for Nothing Left to Lose" popped into my head.
Right.
And so I thought, yeah, you know what? We all define freedom in different ways. And what our concept of freedom and so on is. So I thought that might be interesting to take a look at that.
Yeah.
So Aley, I'm going to sit back and
okay. Well, it's funny, when I was in my undergrad, I was studying the philosophers of the Enlightened Age. And so you would have had Franklin, Voltaire, Rousseau, Tom Jefferson, those guys. And I remember the teacher telling us we were going to talk about the difference between would you choose freedom or security? So, I mean, it's just two sides of a coin. Yeah. And he said most people would choose security. And I said, not me. I choose freedom. I want to be able to get in my car and drive down the road and, but most people would, and they said that, and Ben Franklin brought that up actually. And most people like, not you guys here, I'm sure, but most people like to be told what to do, because then they can say, oh, you told me to do that. It's your fault. Because we don't want to take responsibility for our choices. But I don't think they're really, it's so freedom in one way for spirituality and freedom in the physical. I have my freshmen come out every term in composition, and I ask them to write about this, and they're all like, but they'd never thought of it before. And I love to read their answers. But I said, we really aren't free, because they'll say, I'm free. And I'll say, do you have a telephone? And they'll say, a cell phone? They'll say, yeah. I said, well, do you have a bill for that cell phone? Well, yeah. Do you have to pay rent? Do you have to buy books? Do you have to I said, you're not free. But that's a choice too. You don't have to have a cell phone. You don't have to have, all those other things. But it's such a wonderful topic. And I was saying to Marina, and Val, if I was, if my Social Security gets cut, I've already made a plan that I will get in my car, because I'm not flying, and I'm going to Washington, D.C., and I'm going to protest, because freedom is another word for nothing left to lose. What else do I have to lose? Why wouldn't I try? So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah. No, I get it. Absolutely get it.
Yeah,
so
there's no such thing as security. That's right. There's no such thing as freedom, and no such thing. That's my feeling. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No. Don't apologize.
Everybody gets their own concepts and feelings about it. I have to say, freedom for me is just a state of mind. It is actually also something tangible. So it's both. But for me, freedom means that I get to make choices. I have the freedom to shift and do whatever I want. I don't consider the bills or the mortgage or anything, although I don't have a mortgage, but I don't figure any of it as a burden, because I have the choice to sell it and go. I have a choice. So I have freedom. Freedom is choice, the choice to live the way that you want.
Right.
When your choices are cut off, when you don't have that open vista of choices, then it starts to narrow down that feeling of freedom for me. But you can also say that even those people in prison can have a freer mind that can open up and access anything in the universe. So there is a state of mind of freedom that is really expansive, and that even if you're in a cell, you can still access that feeling of freedom. For me, what it looks like to be free is to be able to, at the drop of a hat, do whatever I want. Like Aley was saying, I can get in the car and go drive anywhere I want and pretty much do anything I want. It is also the freedom to think how I want, to perceive everything the way that I want, to go out of the norm and realize above everything how I want to set my perspective of everything. That is my freedom level. That is where I can feel the breeze blowing in my hair, because I am free to that level. And how do you actually achieve that? You have to free your mind up from what you have valued in your life, that is material. And you have to realize that if you lost everything tomorrow, that you could walk away and you could live a life that you are still living, and it really wouldn't shift that much. Maybe you'd be a little less comfortable in the aesthetics, but you could live the same life. You're the same person taking yourself on the road or whatever you're going to be doing after that. Then you know you're really getting to that point of freedom. And when you know you've achieved it is when you actually feel unburdened, because you have set your, we'll say you set your desires. We don't call them boundaries or anything like that, but we'll say you set your desire for freedom, your desire of being free as your level. That's your level. So then, when you feel that freedom to breathe, when nothing is weighing you down, you feel like you've achieved it. No matter what is going on around you, no matter what is happening in the world, you have your freedom. So then, is it tangible or is it a concept? It's both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because freedom is that feeling I was talking about, that choice, that magnificent field of opportunity that you give yourself. You allow yourself. It's not somebody, oh, I'm not lucky. I'm not lucky. Yes, you are. The universe is flowing to you. Just open up and receive it, kind of thing. So it's how you set your perspective and think about things, but also it's tangible in that when you are in that freedom, you have opportunities flowing to you like water. It's just flowing. Doors are opening because you're in the flow. When you're in that freedom, you're not in restriction and you're not tied to artifacts. You're not tied to the artifacts.
Material.
They don't own you. The material things, they don't own you. And it's just like if you were a Bedouin and you lived in a tent and you were in Jordan and you were walking in the sand and you were moving to your next place you're going to pitch your tent.
Yep.
It is that tangibility of being mobile, you're not tied and anchored down. You are not tied and anchored down. Everything is flexible, and tomorrow you could choose an entirely different thing, just like that. That is a tangible sense of freedom for me.
Well, actually, you're describing the Buddha because that's what he did.
Yeah.
He just said he was like a prince and he had all this money and anything he wanted, and he gave it all up. And he wandered.
Yeah. And he wandered. Yes, he did. He did.
And he was happier than ever.
Yes, he was extremely happy. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's sort of the whole point. Thinking about freedom is, a lot of people think that they're free, but they don't understand the concept of freedom. Right. I am free in that I am not enslaved. No one owns me, but my freedom has a price and it has a consequence. So yes, I'm free to get in my car and go wherever I want to go. However, there are rules on the highway that tell me how fast I can go.
Yeah, you can't plow through red lights either. No.
Exactly. So, yes, I'm free to do that within certain restrictions, right? And the idea of freedom is very much something that is internal. And I think, Val, you're right as well in that it is once we can let go of the things that keep us where we are, right? Where we have obligations to certain things, right? That keeps us in the one place that doesn't allow us to have the freedom to just kind of do whatever we want. Yeah, the attachment roots us kind of where we are. When we can say that, you know what, I can let go of these things. And it's funny because we talked about this not too long ago about when you are wedded to your possessions, when your possessions define who you are, what happens to your personality? What happens to your soul?
And we're seeing what happens.
Boom. They disappear.
You have to reinvent yourself in a different way because you aren't that person. But the same thing about societal rules isn't a lack of your own freedom, because society still has to have a functional directive, and people would be killing themselves like it's an Autobahn. No, it has rules, but that doesn't lessen your freedom. This is my mind. In my mind, I'm not lessened in my freedom because of that, because I look at it as a societal
Mhm.
construct
Yes.
designed for the mass amount of people on earth to follow these edicts, whatever they be, that everyone has gotten together and decided doesn't impinge on me. I'm not impinged and I'm not bothered by it. And I don't make myself think I'm hampered by it. So in that way, I still have my freedom because I'm not concerned about it. I don't, it doesn't bother me to go 55 or whatever. I don't care. I'm safer because nobody's going to ram me like it's the Autobahn from behind.
Right.
But I'm
Right.
just saying,
Exactly.
your perspective really is the tool to get yourself free, no matter where
When
you are.
you don't need anything, you're
When you
free.
don't need anything, you're
Yes.
free.
Yeah.
You feel like you can get
I
up
think
and
about
move.
the oligarchs. I mean, they have more money than God, but what do
Yeah.
they want? They want more money. For what?
Yeah.
How many houses do you have to have? How many cars? How many? And then, you know, their comment is empathy is weakness.
Yes.
And, you know, compassion is weakness. And I'm like, how could you ever think that? You know, how could anybody ever think that?
Well, it's just harkens me, it reminds me of Gandhi, who was educated in Britain, and there he is in his little loincloth. You know, I mean, he wore the normal clothes everyone did when he was getting his college, his uni education. And there he is, you know, with the naked chest and his little loincloth with his followers sitting out there protesting very peacefully. This is just showing I don't have anything. I have no possessions. And I'm not saying he didn't, but I'm saying
They
this
weren't
is
that
me
important,
making a
obviously.
statement.
Yes.
This is me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it with my money. I'm not doing it with my appearance. Yeah, that's what that reminded me of.
Yeah. I think a really brutal example was a Auschwitz doctor, Viktor Frankl, who said that he lost everything. He lost the hair on his body.
Yeah.
He said he was stripped down. He had no clothes. He had no shoes. He had no hair.
Yeah.
But nobody could take his brain and
No
what
one
he
can take your
thought.
brain.
He was strong.
No one can take that
Take that away.
your consciousness away from you. So you have choices. You have the way to look at it's just like that Life is Beautiful movie. If you've ever seen it, it is all about your imagination, your creativity, your consciousness. That is a beautiful movie. If you haven't seen that, anyone out there,
it really
it
is.
shows you how life can be lived into the fullest, no matter where you are.
What your circumstances. Yeah.
No matter what your circumstances, the power of that creativity, that joy of life. Yeah.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
Everyone, I think sometimes we hamper our own freedom by falling into the trap of believing that, you know, if we want to have certain things, that then, you know, we have to live a particular existence to have certain things.
Like you think you have to be rich and live in a community that is she and all, you know, you have to have this kind of car, and you're burdening yourself down with all these.
So there's lack of freedom.
Well,
see?
like I'm independently wealthier. No.
Hey, Shari.
Hi, Shari.
Hi, y'all.
Even the rich people, I'm waiting for. I'm sorry, I'm going to say the K word. You know, the K's in Hollywood. I'm waiting for one of them to go, oh, this is meaningless. And kind of like drop.
They'll find out on the other side. I really don't think they'll know before then. But
no.
You know what really ripped me is that I feel like one of the best things about being a professor at a college is that within certain parameters, you can talk about anything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I can, if I have a book I want my students to read, nobody can say anything to me. I can have that book. That's being chipped away at for me and for the students.
You're right. That is a very true and tangible thing
Yeah.
of lack of freedom happening, for
Yeah.
sure.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the concept of the freedom and the security, like someone said earlier, if you are, choosing security would almost, it would imply that someone else would have control over the things that give you that security.
Correct. Oh my
right?
God, that's a beautiful point about what choosing security is actually being trapped in your own
Yes.
desire to be stable and secure.
Yeah.
It isn't
Yeah.
quite what you think it is.
You're
They
tying
could
your
fire
own
you
self.
tomorrow. You could be
Yeah.
fired tomorrow. Anything could happen
Yes.
that is way out of your control, right? Yeah.
Look at all these people.
Yeah.
They went home
Yes.
last night, and now half of them lost their job.
Yes,
And
exactly.
there's nothing they could do about
No.
it. Nothing. Yeah.
So, yeah, putting your eggs in that security basket, it's better to be in the freedom basket. And so everything is just going to flow for you no matter what. And being in that happy place of that free flow, because then you're never disappointed and everything is a surprise to you no matter what you're doing.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Shari, welcome.
Thank you.
So we started the discussion, already. So you're talking about freedom and
Freedom.
the concept. Yeah, freedom. Yeah. So just kind of linking freedom and security, and how do you know you're free? What makes you feel free? How do you define freedom, and so on? So we've all had our little say. So
I may be repeating somebody else's talking point and don't know it. To me, freedom has always meant the ability to choose what makes me happy. A lot of people choose a life or a situation that doesn't necessarily make them happy, but it makes them feel protected or taken care of. So that's kind of a personal thing. Each person is going to have to decide for themselves what they're willing to give up in order to sleep at night, I guess would be a good way to put it. I guess freedom for me is knowing I can pay all my bills by the end of the month. Even if there's nothing left over, at least I know I paid my obligations and I took care of my family for the month. And okay, I made it through this month. Now let's tackle next month. That's a really good feeling to have, and a kind of a freedom feeling. Being able to cheer or mourn, depending on what the situation publicly, and not worry about being ostracized for it. I mean, there are some cultures that when someone dies, it is the culture for the women to go out into the streets and wail and mourn and very loud and very, something that here most people would be like, what the hell is wrong with them? But that's their culture. That's how they show their grief. And I think that when it comes to whether if it's in grief or in happiness, it's that ability to know that you can cheer or cry or wail or whatever, and to hell with what anybody else thinks. This is what I'm feeling and I'm going to express it. That in and of itself is an act of freedom. There's also an act of freedom in reining yourself in when you know that maybe your expressed reaction would make others uncomfortable. So you pull it back and you don't make it, not to deny yourself, but to spare others who it could hurt. That is also a sense of freedom because that's your choice. It comes down to choice. If you're allowed to choose what makes you happy, what makes you feel comfortable, what makes you feel successful, then that's your freedom, you know. Something my mother always tried to instill on me when I was a teenager. Well, you don't need a man to take care of you. You can go out and make your own way and do your own thing. And if someone comes along, fabulous, but it's not a necessity, because in her world growing up, that was deemed a necessity. You couldn't be happy unless you had a spouse, And in some cultures, that's still the same even today. But it was a fact of knowing that no matter which path I chose to walk, that my mother had my back. That was another form of freedom for me, of knowing that as long as I was happy, then she was happy for me, and I think that it's important also when we teach our children that, we try to teach our children to be the best human they can be, but ultimately it comes down to their choices. And there's a freedom in allowing them to make the choice that makes them happy. May not be what you would have chosen for them or what you think will even make them happy, but if that's what they want, it's the ability to say, okay, if that's what you want, I'm here for you. I got your back, whatever. And it gives them their freedom then to step forward. I think Aley's right in the fact of being on a college campus and being around younger people all the time and knowing that there's a little more freedom in that atmosphere for people to speak their minds than there are, say, in a high school or an elementary school or in preschool, whatever.
You have to learn your own, what you believe, what
you
believe.
have to learn your own truth, right? And because that's the whole point, well, the whole point, but that's one of the main points of university life is to figure out what do I believe in and what direction do I want my life to go. And gaining enough knowledge to be able to take care of yourself when you step out the doors and walk away with your diploma in hand. And hope that you can get a job so you can pay off all the loans it cost you to go to school. I think it's something that we've kind of lost is making people understand the importance of voting if their country allows voting, because you're making a decision of how is my society going to be run, and conservative, liberal, red, blue, whatever, it doesn't matter, but it's knowing that your voice counts, and if you don't make that choice, then someone makes it for you and you lose freedom from that.
Well, there's your idea of being secure. But then if you depend on somebody else and they do something wrong, then you can blame them. So a lot of people do that. They say, well, I'm going to go along with you, because you told me to do that,
You're right, Aley, in that I do agree with you that for the most part, people do give up their own sovereignty to someone else, even unconsciously, because it's a defense mechanism in that, okay, this is one thing that I don't have to worry about. And you're right. If anything goes wrong, wasn't my fault. Wasn't my fault. Right? I don't have to take ownership for anything that I've done, because I can always defer it and say, it was someone else.
Well, you told me to do it. I was listening to you.
Yeah. So there's, that's the other side of that freedom, that, freedom has responsibility.
That's right.
Freedom
does.
is not
Mhm.
something that is just given to you. It is something that you mature into. It is something that you have to think about. It is something
You
that
earn it.
has to have,
Yeah.
It's
do
something
earn
you
Yeah.
earn, like
yeah,
respect. You
yeah,
have to earn respect,
yeah,
by being respectful of others.
yeah.
And,
And freedom does come. Um, it's funny because it's kind of a dichotomy. Freedom does come with some restrictions, and like Val said,
Yeah.
they are sort of collective restrictions that
Mhm.
we all agree to. That we all say, all right, in order for me to be able to express myself, um, then I have to put certain limitations in place. In that I can say how I feel. Um, I just can't start with the hate mongering or
Mhm.
whatever,
Mhm.
because then that is not, I'm infringing on somebody else's freedom.
Yeah.
Which gets into a whole different, category of, what is freedom and so on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just really thought that it was such an interesting
It
concept
is. Yep.
that we don't really give as much thought to as we should.
You're right.
and
It's
to be the
interesting.
first ones to jump up and say, "Well, they're taking my freedoms away." Well, did you fight for them? Did
Right.
you
Are you going to
declare
stand
that
up?
that's
Yeah.
what you want for freedom?
It's a really interesting concept when you think about your divine plan and
Yes.
do you have free will? Do you really
Yes.
have free will? So in how much of your divine plan you're going to express and everything that you choose in your life. And if you take it down to that basic level, and you begin making conscious choices about what you are choosing, then you can exercise that and see if it's really true. But you have to take ownership. You have to be that sovereign being standing in that powerful place of taking responsibility for everything.
That, yeah.
And our society teaches us from an early age to be dependent on society, to be dependent on the world, to be dependent on the material things, to grow and learn so you can have those material things.
Yes.
But it's really the opposite. We should be
It is the
teaching
opposite.
meditation in school. We should be teaching how to be considerate of one another, mindful.
How to think critically.
Every time that I felt that I had a house, I had a good job, I was married to a man with a good job. There were other things that weren't the greatest.
Yeah.
But I walked away from
that because it isn't the thing.
I didn't want the homes.
Yeah.
All 3 homes, they were gone.
Yes.
And people would say, "Oh, women always take everything." I said, "I always give it."
No.
Yeah. I just want freedom. Yeah.
It's not, and it's as I'm listening to you talk and the concept of responsibility and so on. I had that flashed in front of me that the movie with Mel Gibson when he is
Braveheart.
Yes, Braveheart. Yeah, when he goes into
yes.
And that is, I think true freedom comes when you are not concerned about laying down your life for something that you absolutely
believe in. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
or for the protection of others and for their freedom.
Right.
I think spirit takes that into consideration when you do pass and you're going for your life review or you're, going to see what happens next for me now. I think all of that plays into, did all of your decisions only revolve around you?
Yes.
Or did a good measure of your decisions revolve around the care of others? Whether if it was to let them have their way or to let them say what they want or to take care of them or to be willing to stand in front of them for protection. There's just so many different avenues of that, but which goes back to what a lot of people say of, well, freedom isn't free, it costs. And that's true.
Alexei Navalny would be a good example of somebody
Yes.
letting it all go, knowing what
And
would
his
happen.
wife. His
Yes.
wife
Yeah,
too.
his wife.
Yeah.
And also Gandhi, to the effect that he was on a hunger strike many times.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all that. He'll end it right there. He was on his deathbed numerous
And look
times.
at Bernie Sanders. Bernie
Yeah.
Sanders.
Heart attack, and he carries on. He keeps carrying on.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's currently doing rallies of
I know.
5, 6, 10,000.
He's 83.
Yeah.
there you are.
And that is an extremely good segue
Okay.
into
To
the
a question.
that we have,
Mhm.
because it's absolutely perfect. Okay, so here we go. And this came from Cynthia 8218. Bernie Sanders is on a talking tour about oligarchy. What impact will that have?
Ooh-wee.
That's it's already having an impact because it's already creating
It's
conversation.
the support they all need. That's what I
Yeah.
get. The support they
Yes.
all need. And dig out your old Bernie shirts, everybody. Or you can go on Etsy. I found one for $7 today.
Yeah.
That man is incredible. He has
Yes.
nothing left to lose because he's 83 and
That's
he'll
exactly
never be
right.
president.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is, it's fabulous. I think that he is, there was a lot of people that kind of pushed him aside and poo-pooed him, and well, it's just Bernie, he's a socialist and whatnot. I think that they are seeing the difference and starting to understand the difference between a socialist, someone who believes in equality for all and equal treatment for all, versus oligarchy, which is my way or the highway.
The
I
authoritarian.
win, you
right?
lose.
Or what we are basically here, or what we were in this country, which was socialist democracy.
Mhm.
I mean, we're a democracy, a republic. We choose supposedly our leaders, but yet we also operate under socialistic avenues as well, with public education, fire departments, police departments, a military that's there to protect us in times of war or attack. And just there's just it's so intertwined that I think what's really helpful in the current situation with Bernie doing what he's doing, and because of the way he just plain speaks it,
Yes.
without fancy words, he just puts it out there. But a lot of people, and I'm seeing a lot of younger people, are walking away going, I never thought about it like that before. That makes a lot of sense. Well, and that's what we needed, was somebody that's going to put it out there. I mean, you see
He could have turned
AOC
his
doing
back.
it.
He could have turned his back after
Yes.
the Democrats gave the Hillary the nomination. He was going to be the nominee.
He's very selfless.
He is very simple.
Yes, he is. Very much so.
Yeah.
He's
And, I pulled the King of Cups, and that absolutely that is Bernie. Where yes, he's more concerned about we than he is about me.
Yeah,
it's plain speak. There's, what he said today is the same thing that he said last year and 5 years ago and 10 years ago.
That's right.
He doesn't need to walk back anything he said, because it's the same thing.
I have to say, I got, and interestingly enough, Archangel Michael Oracle, your loved ones are safe. Basically, though, this means let go of your fears and worry for your loved ones, because I'm looking after them. Basically, that's saying all of you, don't worry.
Let it go.
Let it go, because what his tour about oligarchy is really opening eyes to understand what that really means. What is the concept of that? What are the chains that bind under that? And will be out in the ethers. It is out in mass consciousness. As he is going around saying it, talking it, saying it, it shifts the energy in a big way. There's no doubt about that.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, sorry, Shari.
No.
We could, we could really hear you shuffling.
Oh,
so
sorry.
Jessica,
I said,
turned off your mic while you were doing it. So yeah,
I forgot to pull cards out. I was like, oh, how many cards to
that's
pull?
okay.
What's kind of exciting about all of it is the fact that now you have world leaders that are repeating his words as they speak publicly, from around the globe. And so it's another point of driving it home that it's what he's talking about
It's
isn't
not
just
just
for
a word,
one.
folks. It's not just a word.
Exactly.
This is what it is and feels like.
Really. And we have, bad grandpa who just turn around the other way when he talks. And we have good grandpa.
Yes,
Exactly. Yeah.
exactly,
You want to
exactly.
hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
So Cynthia, good question. Now, artist Liz also had a question. And she said, everyone is getting upset with Hakeem Jeffries because of going after Al Green. He's starting to look like a lame duck. Will the Dems voting for censure face voter consequences? So I think that personally, I think that they should, because
we're too nice. We're too nice. We got to stop being so nice.
Yes, exactly. The Dems will always find a way to make it difficult for themselves. And you know what? It's time. There is politeness. And then there is bending over backwards. And I think it's time for that to stop.
Absolutely.
Grow a backbone. And 10 of them just basically said that, no, that's okay. No. No.
And it's like they're afraid to take such steps against the other side who act a million times worse. But they're all on board to jump in when it's one of their own to make the example of. And it's like, okay, yeah, but it doesn't work like that. If you're going to hold Al Green to account, then why weren't you doing that to MTG or some of the others?
Exactly.
And some of the horrific things that they would scream out and holler when Biden was president and would have one of these joint sessions and speak. And it was like they never would do anything against them. It's like, no, if you want to show that you're going to be strong about decorum, then it applies to everybody. There again is that freedom sneaking in there. If it applies to one, it applies to all. And you can't just pick and choose.
Yeah.
I have to say, and I got an interesting. So here's the sword. You notice it's blue. It's like the voice is the healing instrument. And you see the heart behind there?
Yeah.
So to speak with your voice of the truth, it is a healing thing. Yeah. And to allow it to be such, and it heals the heart. Yeah. So this is a very important time for people to realize it isn't just what is being said, but the full action and impetus, strength behind what it is. And so the reactivity of the one event, one small thing, is way over the top at this point.
Yes.
Over
just like
over someone.
And I drew cat spirit, claiming your independence.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing by voting the way they did. And see it. So what do I get? I get number 47, and I found that to be fascinating.
Yes.
And I get clearing. The word is clearing.
My God.
Making our way to clear 47 out of here. Can't make that up.
No, that's perfect. I love it. I love it.
I think that's my big chuckle of the day.
You know, I'm sitting here going, you got to be kidding me. I see the word and then I look at the numbering. I go,
You can't make that stuff up, folks.
yeah.
Yes,
I think Spirit is trying to make a point.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
So
So
Dawn
funny.
Turner, hello, Dawn, wanted to know who do we feel will win the Canadian federal election? And I'll just give you just a tiny little bit of background, recent background. Is Mark Carney is going to be sworn in, as Prime Minister on Friday.
Right.
It is expected that he will almost immediately call for an election.
Mhm. Yeah.
And right now, Parliament is prorogued. It's not in. It's not in session, and a lot of that is because the Conservatives basically has said that they're going to call for a vote of no confidence against the Liberal government. So I think that's one of the reasons that Carney is going to be sworn in so quickly. It's going to be a smooth transition of power between Trudeau. So Trudeau's last day will be Friday.
Mhm.
And then Carney announces an election, and that kind of leaves the Conservatives. It takes away a little bit of the wind behind their sails of, well, we're going to call a vote of no confidence. It's like, yeah, too late. Election's been called, but thanks for coming.
Bad, so sad.
Yeah.
I really feel like Carney's going to stay in there. I got a
I
good
do
feeling
too.
about him. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I do too. I do too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He is. I think that he can kind of mesh with both sides, because now he was appointed as the head of the Bank of Canada by Stephen Harper, who was a Conservative. He was a Conservative Prime Minister. Also did some dodgy things, and it's
As they all do.
as they all do. And it's funny that the Conservatives are like the Republicans, and the Liberals are like the Democrats, right?
Yeah.
The Conservatives go in, they overspend, they do all kinds of things that they shouldn't.
They go to Mar-a-Lago.
They go to Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. So the next federal, I think, probably end of April, beginning of May is when I think that he's going to call for an election. We don't have a long election cycle. Like, it doesn't go on for months and months and months. It's,
or years and years and years.
Or years and years and years. Yeah. So how is it gonna work out? I think that he's if he is able to bring the Liberals back into power, I think that would be fabulous, because one of the things that this trade war and so on has brought about is the fact that Canadians are now standing united, and the Liberals have gone from a position of being down by 20 some points to now being above the Conservatives, okay, not by 20 points, but there's certainly it can certainly be done. So I think that he has a very, very good chance of winning. And if he does not win, it will ensure that the Conservatives have a minority government, which means that we can hold them
Absolutely.
to account.
There you go.
There you so go. It's like a win-win.
I think he really will win, because I got the card. It's time to play. And what is this about? See this frisbee?
Yeah.
that's flying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you're working too hard, worrying about everything. Seek out joyous experiences to bring balance in your life. And I think this is what he's going to bring. Not a dumb way of playing. He's going to play it smart. He's got
Gonna
the
play it
frisbee
smart.
and he knows how to throw it and who to throw it to
Yeah.
and what is going on. Go ahead, Aley.
So look, who is at the outset? He's at the outset. He
Yes.
won this first
Yeah.
vote. And
Yeah.
look, he's all packed up to move in.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
And got his picnic basket and everything. So they're on their way.
They're on their way, and I feel
Yeah.
like he's going to bring in a whole new game
Yeah.
plan
Yes.
and play it really smart. And
Yeah.
that's my feeling.
Exactly.
I drew more than one because the first one I drew was like, that doesn't make any sense. And so the next one was even worse. And then I got the third one. I thought, oh, okay, that ties it all together. I started with the 7 of Wands. So, there's a lot of competition here. There's going to be a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, a lot of who says what, who does what we expect between the two differences of the parties. And then I got the 7 of Swords. So they're going to be accusing him of trying to steal the votes or steal
That's
the
thing they always do. Yeah.
just steal it. It's the same thing they always do while they're the ones that are actually doing the stealing.
Right.
But then I got the Empress, and I think he's going to be the one because he kind of has that ability of straddling the fence and balancing in both worlds. He's going to bring the abundance because he's the one that's got the ability to kind of draw both sides together, and we can work together on this.
Yeah.
And
And that's what you want in leadership.
Yeah, he's got the frisbee. Okay, what does that mean?
Yeah.
He's got the tool. Yeah, he can play.
He can throw wherever he wants.
He can
That's
throw
right.
it wherever.
Exactly. And
And it's like a
you know,
golden thing.
totally. And very, very
Golden
much
disc.
in line with Shari, the cards that you drew. Yeah, the stealing, stealing. That is something that people have. One of the concerns is that Elon Musk is backing the conservative.
Of course he is.
So
And that-
could there be voting shenanigans and so on and so forth? The seven of Wands, yes. Carney is going to need to defend his position, and I think he's going to do an excellent job of being able to do that.
Right.
and
Yeah,
even
I look at that as a positive card.
Yes.
You want
Yeah.
competition.
Here's the thing, no matter what, I feel like he's going to have that game piece to be able to play it, no matter where he is or what's going on. So
Exactly. He can catch it and he can throw it.
yes, he can.
Yeah, there you go. And so quickly, our last question came in from Shaikov, and it says, I have a question. Maybe you can give me the answer. I was in the shower and a cold air kept blowing around the back of my neck. No draft in the bathroom. What was that?
Oh, what's that guy's name that goes into the shower and stabs somebody? 50?
Oh, no.
I'm just
No.
kidding.
Norman Bates.
Norman Bates.
Norman Bates. Yeah.
You have to go
Not
in the
really.
shower.
Not
So,
really.
Yes.
I have to say, I get that is really one of your angels coming in and giving you a lot of energy. And in the back of your neck there is a big chakra point that is, or there's something else besides your throat chakra there. I can't remember the name of it right now, but my guides have explained it, that it is a big point of entry of an initiation energy, things turning on for you.
Yeah.
So when you feel that there's some adjustment or energy going on for you there.
Yep.
When you no draft, that yes, absolutely. That's what I got for you. So you're having some work.
And
done.
I got the renewal, and look, he's getting more water. And look, there's a little person behind there waiting. So-
Yeah.
And a 7 is a spiritual number. So there you go.
Yes, it is.
I drew Rabbit Spirit, which is lucky times.
Ooh.
So
Cool.
this may be just, and that's a
Yeah.
number 49. So,
Yeah.
whatever that number
Somebody's
may
got
mean.
your back. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Somebody's got your
Yeah.
back.
Somebody's
Yeah.
got your back there. They're just letting you know, hey,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
you might want to make that move now.
Yeah. And I got the cat
Ooh.
lady, and this is from the modern
I like that card.
modern life oracle. And these I saw Jane the Seeker using these, and I thought, oh, I must get them. So I did. Yeah, the cat lady. The cat lady is surrounded by things that bring her pleasure. So this, yeah, absolutely. Spirit's got your back.
Yeah.
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 Spirit got your back. So that's what that was. Them just letting you know that, yeah, we're here. And if it happens again, say thank you. Acknowledge it and say thank you.
Absolutely.
So then I got deeper insights are at hand. So I really think that energy at your neck, that happened to me. And I have to say that is happening to a lot of people. They may not realize when it's happening, but there is something that goes on there with that point in your back, in your neck, in this area down here. So,
Yeah.
there's something I did on Next Level Channeling about that. But anyway, yeah, I think that's could have very well be, that's what the insight that came to me for you. So
Cool.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Wow.
So that is our questions. And we are 1 hour, 1 minute. Perfect.
Not bad. Not bad.
Fabulous. Yeah. We did good. So next week we're going to be on Shari's channel, and Shari is going to be our hostess. So y'all have to come and join us over there. But in the meantime, thank you to each and every one of you that joined us. Thank you for being here. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to everyone's channels. And we will see you throughout the week. If you want to know what we're up to, go to our YouTube page, check under posts. Usually we put on there what we're doing and where we're doing it and who we're doing it with. There you go.
And real quick, go in and leave a comment after the show. There's a reader that I listen to all the time, and he's been getting doxxed lately. Like 20, 30 people will go in when he looks at the analytics. They stay on maybe a minute or two, and then they all leave a rude comment and a thumbs down. And it's affecting his channel. I mean, and this guy has like 300,000 followers, so he's nothing to sneeze at. And
it's probably bots, Shari. It is probably.
Yeah, it's probably bots that are doing it. But he did a little short clip video he put out today, just saying, just keep your eyes open, for others that have a channel, be aware. And so it makes a big difference.
It helps
if you go in
absolutely
and you leave a simple comment like "great show" or "I thought
even a
it
thumbs
stunk today" or whatever, just a thumbs up.
You can even set it so that no comments can be on there till you approve them.
Yes,
that way you never get anything that affects your channel. Delete.
Yeah.
So this might be something you might tell your friend to do, is set it.
Yeah, I might. I forgot all about that.
I will review all comments before they're posted.
Exactly.
And,
yeah.
All righty. Well, again, thank you everyone for being here, and thank you Shari and Val and Aley for doing this
Marina.
with me this week. And we shall see you next week. So everyone, take care.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.